Hi everyone, this is Jeff Walker. I'm with Jenny Richardson, and we're going to be speaking to Jenny today about NeuroKinetic Therapy, or NKT. Jenny's going to be presenting NKT at the 9th Annual Soft Tissue Therapy Conference, which is coming up on the 7th and 8th of November here in Sydney. Welcome, Jenny. It's nice to have you on the line. Thank you for your time. I know you've been very busy.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for inviting me to speak. It's very exciting.
You're at the end of a very long day today, I believe, so we'll make this short and sweet. Jenny, I think we've got you on the 8th, on the Sunday. You're going to be speaking about NeuroKinetic Therapy. Can you just explain to us what NeuroKinetic Therapy is, as in what does the name mean?
Sure. So NeuroKinetic Therapy was, firstly, it was created by David Weinstock in the US. And I think they went through a number of name changes back in the early days, but a couple of people were brainstorming names, and the concept of neuro being something to do with the brain and the nervous system, and kinetic being to do with muscles and movement, really appealed, because that's really what neurokinetic therapy is about, and hence the name was born.
You're going to be taking us through a little bit of theory, a little bit of prac, whatever suits you on the day, just so that we get a taste of what neurokinetic therapy is. Can you explain how you got involved with neurokinetic therapy and what's your journey been getting to the point that you're at now?
Sure. I think these days everyone learns about everything on Facebook, don't they? And that's how I heard first about
Yes.
NKT. I think every course I've done recently I've seen on Facebook. I started seeing these case studies which absolutely fascinated me, because they talked about the patterns that could be identified that were causing pain and dysfunction. And I remember when I was at college, I was always trying to figure out, but what's the pattern? You know, if someone has 3 or 4 things going on with them, why are we treating one and then the next and the next? What's the pattern that brings them all together? And I think NKT was the first thing that I was reading case studies and going, that's what I need. Had no idea whether it was really any good or not, but I decided to go to a course. David wasn't coming to Australia or sending Kathy to Australia at that point, and so I travelled over to Vancouver, Vancouver was my first course, I think, and that was level 1 in 2013. And it was a great experience, and I must say I came home and kind of looked at my client and went, I don't know what to do now. It's not a set of procedures that you follow. It's not a typical massage course. It's a way of thinking and a way of looking at a body. But by just kind of jumping in and trying stuff, over time it started to come together. And there's a huge support network in NKT, which is fantastic, because it's a long learning process of thinking about what we do quite differently. I went to do the level 2 training back in Vancouver at the end of 2013, and then in 2014 I did my level 3 training in New York. And in the meantime, Kathy Dooley has started coming to Australia and training here, which has been fantastic too. And I've had the opportunity to help and assist with those classes, which means I've been able to learn more and more each time.
And a wonderful job you do too at assisting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been in the level 1 and level 2 with Jenny helping out and assisting, which is why I've actually invited to present at the Soft Tissue Conference, because I know that she has a wealth of knowledge and I know that she's quite capable of sharing that with us. Do you have a rough game plan of what you're going to be showing us, or the plan that you might have for us at the actual conference? Is it going to be things that we're going to be able to take away and try ourselves on the day, and is there anything that we're going to be able to use in our clinics on Monday morning?
I certainly hope so. I still have plenty of work to do because I'm a fairly last-minute person on preparing things. My general concept, though, of what I want to bring to the conference is a general understanding of the concepts of NKT, the ways of looking at the body that I found. It's different to what I learnt in school, but it shouldn't be. It's kind of what we always talk about, seeing the patterns, seeing how everything's connected and so on. But I never really learned how to do that out of college. And I think NKT, more than anything, has taught me how to think about the body differently. And I guess I want to show some of that and some of the theory that goes with it, and hopefully a bit of the science, and then do some practical work with NKT. There'll certainly be some things that people can take away, but NKT is more than can possibly be presented in 2.5 hours. So there'll be snippets of it that I can give certain muscle tests and I might include a couple of the patterns that are very typical, Even if people just go away, though, thinking a bit differently about the body, I think you'll find that that's really useful, let alone the actual strategies that NKT then makes that a lot easier.
So would you say that's what captured your imagination with seeing this technique for the first time, was that it did bring a lot of things together?
Absolutely. For the first time, really made sense to me how the body is connected in ways. So it's not just, the ankle bone's connected to the knee bone, but the ankle bone's connected to the cervical vertebrae and to the abdominal scar and to the right shoulder and whatever else it happens to be. And that kind of felt like what I've been looking for the time I've been practicing over the last 10 years.
There's going to be some people that are fresh out of college at the conference, and there's going to be people that have been practicing for 20 years. Is this going to be applicable for both those sets of people?
Anyone who's interested in it, absolutely. I think straight out of college is fantastic. You get a chance. I think, college has to teach things in a certain way, and that's partly our education system. You only hit the real world when you start treating patients, and it doesn't work the way that it does in a class. And so NKT is just another way of starting to think about that, and it will put the newer people into the profession that little bit ahead in terms of considering relationships in the body and not just treating symptom. And I think for people who've been doing it for a long time, and I'd been practicing for 8 years at that point, so that's still new compared to some people, but felt like I've been around for a while. It changed my practice quite a lot, and the beautiful thing is that it's a way of looking at the body and a way of assessing, and it includes the process for treating, but what techniques you actually use to treat are your own. So I've learned onsen with Jeff before, and I use that all the time in the middle of what I'm doing with NKT. Fascial work, so I bring it all in together.
Jeff will be happy to hear that. You'll be able to share that with him. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, when I first went into the level 1, as someone who'd been around for a while, I sat up the back with my arms crossed on the chair, waiting to see what this thing was all about. And it took about 10 to 15 minutes before Kathy Dooley from the US, she was up there, and I was up off my chair wanting to know more, because it was showing us was incredible. As you said, it's a game changer in terms of how you use it in your practice. Do you use it every day in your practice, or is it just like once a week or once a day sort of thing, or is it an integral part of what you do now?
It's definitely integral. I wouldn't say I use it, totally and to the exclusion of other things. It's very much dependent on the person. David's very clear on saying NKT doesn't do everything, but what it does do, it does really well. So it depends on what the person comes in with, what their personality is like, and whether I think, am I going to get away with doing some of this before I start treating them, or do I have to work them into it slowly? But there'd be very few sessions where I don't include at least a tiny bit of testing if I'm working on pain or dysfunction that someone has.
All right, Jenny, that's fantastic. I think that's give people enough information to decide whether they want to come along and see what you have to say. I already know that there's people at the gate waiting to see what NKT is. They've heard about it. They've heard me speak about it to them in private conversations and on forums. So it'll be great to have something structured, and from someone as knowledgeable as yourself. I know you're very reserved, but I know that still waters run deep. Can't wait to see what you present to us.
Thanks, Jeff. It's going to be fun. I'm rather nervous, but I'm looking forward to it. It will be a great challenge, and it'll be great to share NKT, because I think it is a game changer. Whether you use it in totality or whether you just take tiny snippets of it, it's one of the new things out there that represents how differently we're starting to think about the work we do.
All right, thanks very much for being on, Jenny. We'll look forward to seeing you on the 8th of November.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.